Good morning. Happy Friday. It's Adam Zdroik. I'm talking MLS. MLS on Saturday, June 24th. Going to give a few bets at the end. Going to run through lineups pretty quickly. For my midweek show, it was not very quick. Uh, I went through 12 matches, 24 teams, team by team, match by match, and it ended up going like 32 minutes. I'm going to get this one a little quicker. So I'm going to run through lineups a little bit. But we do get a lot of players returning from the international break from their national teams. We still have the Gold Cup going on, so there are some Americans gone. There are some players on the Jamaican team. There are some players on the Canadian team. Those players will be gone, but everyone else should be available. Will be back. All the players who played in Europe, they should be available as well. So there's not as much to go through, but as you can see in some of these injury reports, a lot of questions, a lot of absences. This Inter Miami one is slightly ridiculous, as you can see here. They have a ton of injuries, and then they have all these guys who are injured, Mota and Grigore, uh, in addition to everyone playing in the Gold Cup. So there are things like that pop up, but rotowire.com/soccer trial to get this cheat sheet here. That's a free 48-hour trial, but you're gonna want a subscription. We got this content coming throughout the summer. We're gonna get prior Women's World Cup stats ahead of the World Cup, so that will be helpful if you play DFS. Even if you bet on these matches, we will have some prior Women's World Cup stats. So those will be coming up on the site shortly. We do have Liga MX starting in 7 days. As usual, we have all that content. We have expected lineups. We'll have all the cheat sheets out for all that. MLS, as everyone knows, is continuing. And then pretty soon we're going to have European League start up again. So it hasn't been a month yet, but yeah, preseason starts, uh, what, 3-4 weeks from now. Preseason starts for European teams. So there's not a huge break for a lot of these guys. But let's get into these Saturday matches here. So as I was saying, Inter Miami have a few questions. They again right now we still have a lot of these questionable marks for players returning from international break. We currently only have, this is Friday morning, Friday 11 a.m. Eastern, and there's only been, I don't know, 10, 12 injury reports that have been out for MLS. So there's going to be probably 15 plus that come out more throughout the day. So we're going to, remove some of these questionable tags, like calendars should be available. A lot of these guys, Petrovic should be available. So Gazdag should be available. A lot of these guys who were away for Wednesday or away last weekend, they should be available, and you'll see these questionable tags clear up throughout the day as injury reports come in, as we know that these players are back with their teams and that they're available. So want to give a heads up on that. But just in terms of just for Miami, I guess here, I mean, as you can see, we got kind of a weird midfield. Their back line has some questions. We got Harry Neville here. Harvey Neville, not Harry. Harvey Neville getting the start at right back. I had to do a double take when I saw that, but he does have a couple other starts this season. So because of all their absences, I'm going to be on Philadelphia. And as you can see in the odds, Philadelphia are the biggest favorite of the weekend. 67% chance to win, 40% a chance for a clean sheet. Probably playing the best of maybe anyone in the league. Surprisingly, I guess you got LAFC as the second biggest favorite, but of note, as we look through the lineup here, Javane Brown and Julian Gressel and Ali Ahmed are all out for the Gold Cup. Actually, I think Brown and Gressel are playing each other on Saturday. I think that's the Jamaica USA game on Saturday. So a little white cap on white cap battle going on there. But so the Whitecaps have a few new players in their lineup, though. Berhalter and Schopf will be two guys who have seen plenty of time this season. And then, I mean, even their back line has been mostly healthy this season. LAFC, their absences are really on the back line. So Chiellini's kind of being forced to play all these matches, but Cifuentes is back. They got Buongo came off the bench last match on Wednesday. So they're mostly there. Costa and Palencia still aren't healthy, but going back to the top of this list, um, Not too many absences. Atlanta. They still have some absences, but they get Giacomakis should be back. He was suspended midweek. So that should be fine. The Revs are pretty much healthy. Blessing should be available again. You can see here on the sheet, they do have some absences, and they have to start Ben Sweat here. Ben Sweat, who started the season for Sporting Kansas City, probably the weak point for them here, but they do get Toronto, who have a few more absences. Look at all these absences on this list. Again, I said this midweek. I think they lost 3-0 midweek. They're starting their third string goalkeeper. So that has to be taken into account. And then with that, their back line is kind of iffy. So they're missing all these guys on their back line. Came out in the injury report. So Petretta only made it 42 minutes midweek, and he has like some stomach bug or something. Otherwise, like Laria, gosh. Laria started midweek. He played at center back, and so they've had to do some changes. I don't think Hedges is going to be healthy, but we could see, I guess. So we got Marshall Ruddy starting at left back. Franklin's been playing right and left back. We'll see how they shape up there for Toronto, but Revs at home, still like them. Going down the list, DC United get back a couple of their guys. Taxi's going to be back. Paulson's going to be back on their back line. That's going to be a massive, massive help for them. Birnbaum is suspended. I think that's the main one for them. Cincinnati, Mosquera should be back. He served a suspension, but he was also away on the international break. Moreno missed midweek with an injury. Sergio Santos is now available. I guess he's questionable on the injury report, but he is coming off a hamstring injury, so I doubt he starts. So we could again see Kubo and Baji start up there up front for him. Columbus, their big absence, I guess, would be so they're missing a few guys to the Gold Cup. And so, as I said before, Zayla Ryan is returning from international break. So he's questionable right now, and then that's probably going to be removed once we see the injury report. But so Aiden Morris is gone. So is Russell Rowe, and I think those are the main ones. So we'll see how they line up here. So there's a chance like Matan is in here somewhere. Maybe Zayla Ryan or Matan moves back to a central midfield role. That could be possible, but that would be, maybe making some holes in their midfield because Zayla Ryan, Matan, a little more attacking players. But as you can see here, we moved up Zawadzki to the midfield, and we got Quinton and Morera starting in the back three with Amundsen. So mostly Columbus is fine. Nashville should be getting Walker Zimmerman back in the starting 11. Josh Bauer started the last couple matches. Grigas may get, I think he started midweek. Let me just double check that. Yeah, Jan Grigas, formerly of the Earthquakes, started midweek. Randall Leal is okay. Well, I guess he started the last couple. Otherwise, Nashville pretty good. Charlotte, maybe the healthiest they've been all season. I think that's an important note here for them. They started 2-0 against the Red Bulls, let that one slip away midweek, but they get Swiderski back, Jazwiak's back from injury. Malanda picked up a recent foot injury, so he'll probably be out. But they still have Tuiloma, and he's returning from national break, and Carullo. So they still got the guys. Montreal on the wing, they'll be missing. There was a random report about Lapalainen being injured. So that's something to keep in mind because Brock Guillard and Aaron Herrera are both out for the Gold Cup. So there could be some changes to the Montreal starting 11. Already a team that struggles away from home. Shaqiri should be back for the Fire. Sporting Kansas City should be mostly healthy outside of a suspension to Danny Rosero. They do get Sionis back. Johnny Russell returned from injury last game. So I got that. Austin and Houston are mostly fine. They're mostly healthy. Alex Ring has been injured. Don't think he's going to return. Karaskia is still out for the Gold Cup, but those teams are mostly fine. Real Salt Lake's a team that's getting a lot of guys back from the international break. So Sabarino, Ojeda, Rubio Rubin will still be out for the Gold Cup, but I believe Anderson Julio will also be available. Minnesota, we could see the first start of the season for Manuel Reynoso. So that'll be fun. Minnesota have not played for a while. I think the last time, let's just click into Reynoso, he played 45 minutes. That was June 10th, so it's now June 3rd, 23rd. So we got about 2 weeks since the last time Minnesota played. So we got to think Reynoso returns to the starting 11 for the first time this season. Though they will be out without Dane St. Clair in net because of the Gold Cup. Colorado had their match suspended midweek. Who are they missing? So Galvin still suspended. Abubakar still suspended. Acosta's out. Bombito's out. Jack Price is out. So Gold Cup absences. So they got some absences. Already a team that struggles. Galaxy should get back Javelic from the international break. The Sounders kind of disappointed. One of my losing bets midweek, maybe one of my own. I put 2 bets into them and both of them lost. But I came out. Personally, I came out in the positive, but I think on the show I was about even. Otherwise, the Sounders should be mostly fine. They're missing the rolled-ins. They're missing Morris, so they're missing a couple of guys. Orlando gets a lot of their guys back from the international break. Lacey's back in net. Cartagena. Facundo Torres is back as well. So that's a big boost for them. Portland, they're pretty much the same as they were, though, on the back line. Zach McGraw will be out. He started Wednesday's match. NYCFC hasn't had a ton of absences outside of Martins and Sands here, so they're going to be pretty much business as usual for them. I already mentioned LAFC and the Whitecaps. San Jose should be fine. Let me click into Grueso here. I think he went off. He's one of the players who is away, so we could get Grueso back in the starting 11, which would be another boost for them. They have Kate Cowell's out. Kiko and Judson is suspended. Otherwise, for St. Louis, they've kind of been struggling without Lowen in there, but he's going to still be out. So there we go. That's it. I went through the lineups, went through all that. So I'm going to give a few bets. I'll read some comments. Liga MX, let's go. Yes, Malik Kalina with the goalie assist on Wednesday. That was fun because Kalina, they ended up giving up two second half goals to the Red Bulls, but let's get in some bets here. Look at the odds. Again, 14 home favorites in MLS. Nothing new. That's just kind of how the league goes. And here are the bets. Just going to put them all on the screen at once. So I mentioned Charlotte already. Charlotte, you can get them minus 115 at home to win on the money line against a Montreal team that's struggled on the road this season. I already mentioned Montreal's absences. Some questions with injuries like Lapalainen. And then you throw in pretty much maybe the healthiest Charlotte have been all season. Again, outside of this Malanda injury, pretty much the healthiest they've been. They're gonna have a ton of options here. At times, maybe 2 months ago, they didn't really have much of a bench, so they're forcing some guys in the starting 11. But they pretty much have 15 guys, any of them who could start. So I like Charlotte here. About even odds to win, minus 115. I'm going to go down this list. San Jose money line. They are home against St. Louis. I mentioned St. Louis kind of struggling without Lowen. San Jose has been playing better. If they get Grueso back, that's another boost for them. So I'll take the Earthquakes. Let me just forget what they did midweek here. They did lose midweek, but that was at Houston. And, playing at Houston is a little different than playing at home. Houston, a really good home team. So those are the bets there. And I got a parlay for home teams and 2 of the biggest favorites of the weekend. So Philadelphia, I already mentioned them against pretty injury hampered Inter Miami team. So they're about minus 260. And then you got minus 160 or so on the Revs, home against Toronto. So just bet on both those teams to win. Parlay that money line plus 127. And I got a corner bet in here. Over 9.5 corners between Sporting Kansas City and the Chicago Fire. That's minus 115 odds. Sporting Kansas City lead the league in terms of corners. I hit their race to 5 corners at the Galaxy on Wednesday. That was plus 165. They've been just a team that's racking up corners, racking up opportunities, except they're allowing goals, even though they're not allowing as many opportunities, and they're struggling to score themselves. Snuck out a point midweek from a late PK. But I like the over 9.5 corners. I think Sporting Kansas City could be in the 7, 8, 9 range of corners in this game, and I think the Fire will get a few as well. They showed Wednesday against Portland that they're fine with working off the counter, really, and I think that's kind of what's going to happen here. Is SKC is going to have 60% possession and then the Fire are going to work off the counter. And I'm not going to take Sporting Kansas City money line because that's kind of hurt me a little bit in recent matches, but I think they're going to control the possession. They're going to get the corners. If you want to do SKC -1 corner in the first half, that's about -125 odds. Didn't like the odds that much, but so that's kind of why I'm over the 9.5 corners for the entire game. Final bet, we got Columbus home against Nashville. And I already mentioned some of the absences for Columbus, but they're a team that, uh, in terms of their home matches, there's been a lot of goals. And then with Nashville, they've kind of struggled away from home this season. So I'm kind of putting those things together where Columbus is a team that can score against anyone. Nashville have shown real struggles away from home this season. If we can pull that up, loss at Montreal 1-1. I guess they got a couple wins in there, but I think there's going to be goals in this one. So we got Zayla Ryan is back as well. And I think maybe even helping this bet. So this is over 2.5 goals is -120. Helping this bet would be if you get Matan, Zayla Ryan, Ramirez, and Cucho Hernandez all starting. That would be a little more attack heavy for Columbus. So something to keep an eye on. I'd probably like that bet a little more than I do. But there's the 5 bets for June 24th in MLS. Thanks for watching this. You can find me at RotoZdroik. Again, rotowire.com/soccer trial. That's a free 48-hour trial on RotoWire. And this gets you all the cheat sheets. As you can see, this cheat sheet is very helpful. You get all the stats right here. I didn't even go through the stats. I didn't even go through the free kick takers, and then team conceded stats. You can see who gives up the most corners, whether that's home or away. And then also, of course, subscription gets you team trends, stat trends, all of these things, player stats, lineups as well. There you go. Thanks for watching this. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Saturday. We got a question here. Will we be covering Leagues Cup? No one is buying our content, so we don't have the schedule. Needless to say, as I revealed in our Discord, rotowire.com/chat, we will not be having Leagues Cup information because we don't get the stats. Opta, we don't have in our contract. Opta is not giving us stats or the schedule for the Leagues Cup, so we're just not going to have that. We'll probably be doing notes and whatnot. We'll be covering injuries, but unfortunately, we're not going to have the cheat sheets because we don't have the information. We don't have the information to put into the cheat sheets. So that's just how it is. If someone wants to buy our Leagues Cup content in the next month, and then maybe we'll use that money to get stats from Opta. Otherwise, right now we don't have that information, so we're not going to be covering it in full, unfortunately. But maybe I'll do some betting stuff. We'll see how it goes. Again, that's close to the Premier League season, and then it's the Women's World Cup. So a lot of stuff going on, but just in terms of contracts, it's just one of those things. Leagues Cup is new, so it wasn't in our initial Opta contract. But everyone, thanks for watching this. Good luck on your bets. Again, be in the Discord if you want DFS stuff, if you want more betting stuff. We'll be in there, rotowire.com/chat. See everyone next week. Again, I'll give a little teaser. We're going to have some So Rare content next week if that interests you at all. RotoWire Soccer on Twitter. I am at RotoZdroik. See everyone next week.